this is crazy. Like Lecrae loves this remix. I'm like, wait a minute.
You know, somebody set up a standard, like you said, that's not really even scripture based, and then they end up taking it personal.
I'm not putting all of my hopes and dreams in if they validate me, but it's just like, yo, like,
How do you restrain yourself from airing out the dirty laundry? Help me welcome to the show for the first time, Brandon P.
what's poppin', what's poppin', what's poppin'?
Man, oh man, bro. It's so good to have you on the show, man.
It's good to be here. It's good to be here. First time for everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, shout out to everybody right now in the chat, especially my girl Thea, who just pulled up, said, hey, I don't even really know too much about Christian music. Talk about what a night to join our stream, to have Brandon P. I'm talking about somebody who has not only influenced and impacted a lot of artists from the 2000 era and just his own era. Like he was already, bro, you were already impacting and making waves for the people like Minio, working with him and Lecrae and many more artists where at the time, as they were already building up, people didn't even know that you were there unless they heard it's the Black Knight. And then it's like, bro, that just took over. That was a whole wave. So for those of us who may not have ever heard, or like my girl Thea, who's just kind of getting into some Christian music, bro, give us a little a backstory as to who Brandon P is, man.
A little backstory about who Brandon P is. Ooh-wee. First off, I forgot about the line in the song "Work" with CJ Enverless.
Yes, bro.
I forgot.
Yes.
I forgot that I said that.
Bro, every single time I had to mute. It was basically like censoring it every time.
I don't know what I was on. Even if I was in the air, I said beat slapper like a pimp to his girlfriend.
Yep.
I don't.
Oh, thank you for also admitting that right now too, because I don't know how many times I had to kind of go to bat and be like, no, I'm telling you, man, this dude loves Jesus. Like he's just a real guy, man. You know, that's what it is.
I'll send you the clean version, the censored version of it. No, but a little backstory about Brandon P. Where do I start? I started doing music when I was 15, 16, I guess. No, even before then. But it all started because I wanted to make a beat for my dad for Christmas.
Oh, that's dope.
I don't know. It's just like my dad's a musician, artist, and all that type of stuff. So like my uncle had a studio. And I was just like, yo, I want to go make a beat for my dad. Never knew anything about making a beat. So my uncle was just like, all right, he showed me how to do it. I enjoyed the crap out of it. So
yeah.
Since then, I used to always ask my Uncle Kevin, hey, let me come to the studio. I'm trying to make another beat, And he ultimately got annoyed by me and was just like, all right, here, I'm gonna give you the program. It was Reason. I'm gonna give you Reason. Tell your dad to buy you a computer and a little keyboard.
Dang.
And the next Christmas, my dad bought me a computer, like the whole production, a little suite, whatever. And it was on and pop from there. My beats was trash to begin with. They all sound like space beats.
The honesty.
But that's for real. I don't know how my parents made it through that phase because it's amazing. I went back. I have all my old. I used to always burn my beats to a CD.
Yep.
And like print out like a track list with a cover.
Yes, sir.
And I used to play it in the car, make my dad listen, and it's trash. Honestly, the beats was trash. Honestly.
Hey, but like Thea said in the chat, you know, shout out to supportive parents. I mean, that's what we do as parents. We're just like, oh man, you really suck at that. But you know what? That brings you joy. So here you go.
I honestly don't know why. It is something about like, you know, parents that believe in it and see something in their kids because It's just like, you know, if they was just like, wow, you really suck. Let's not do this again. Brandon, you should look at doing something else.
Right. Right.
But I think I mean, my dad and my mom really saw something in me, and they supported me throughout the years, which led to me wanting to keep going and keep going and keep going. I used to sell mixtapes in high school because my dad didn't let me actually release music.
Mm.
So I used to make mixtapes and like Christian remixes for the low, and I used to sell it for $5 a
Hey,
pop.
hey, side hustle. Let's go. Let's go.
um, but no, fast forward to I think it was like 2010. I did the Rapzilla remix contest for Tadashi. Rapzilla did a
Mm.
remix contest for
Yeah.
his song Riot, and I think it was like the second to last day to like submit a submission or your remix in, and my homie DJ Anointed hit me, was just like, bro, you should do it. And I was like, I don't know, like I don't know if I want to do it, whatever. But I was bored, and I ended up doing it. And
Hey.
overnight, literally, like stuff just began to pop off. DJ Official, rest in peace, hit me and was just like, "Yo, bro, this is crazy. Like, Lecrae loves this remix." I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Lecrae was that guy. I mean, he
Yeah.
still is, but back then, like, I was like, what? So, um, and from there, that's where Andy DM'd me. Andy just got signed to Reach. So a lot of things happened within that time to where like Andy hit me, KB just got signed, like starting to working with Jason. Just
Mm. So
everything just happened in that I don't like 2012 to 2014
that was a hot
like
season.
time span. And fast forward, like tour with Andy for like 6, 7 years. And then changed my name to Brandon P. And now we're here. I guess that's the sped up version of that. So
Yeah. Oh, bro, you not kidding. That's a for real sped up version, ladies and gentlemen. That's we would have to do several episodes to get a lot more than that. So, but I want to backtrack a little bit because when you were talking about supportive parents, if there's anybody that has kept up with you over the years with your music, of course your social media as well. Again, make sure you guys are clicking the links in the chat so you guys can
Mhm.
follow them. All of us have seen how close you are to your parents and how much they are integrated in so much of what you do. And I love when Pops is on there and talk about like, nah, you're not gonna get this cleared. How you gonna get this cleared? And you be like, yo, hey, I got it cleared. And you're like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then like to hear them on the track and everything. And so tell us what does it mean for you, because you definitely seem like you were brought up in a very musical home, but the way that you guys like truly love one another has, even from afar via social media, has really even blessed me and has encouraged me as a father of two to kind of be the same way of like, man, I want to make so much of an impact with my boys that when they get to doing whatever it is that they do, that they
Right.
really want me to still be integrated in their life, bro. So tell us, unpack that a little bit with your family dynamic, man.
Man, family is huge. I think it really started from both sides of my family. So my dad is he has like four brothers and sisters. My mom has four brothers and sisters,
Mm,
and so the family dynamic really just comes from starts from here and it trickles on down.
got it, got it.
Everybody in my family is just heavy on family supportive. Like uh we always have like family get-togethers, hangouts. We still got issues and all that type of stuff,
Right,
don't get
right.
me wrong. But like we try to, as much as we can, support each other at different events, hang out, whatever. We have a Saturday morning Zoom call
Oh, dang.
where it's just like a little prayer hangout. We could be on there for 30 minutes or 6 hours just talking and hanging out. But um, family is huge, and I try to really show that throughout my music for sure because um, my dad is a major impact and a major influence on me,
Mm,
musically, spiritually, mentally, and like family dynamic wise for sure. I learned a lot from him, and I'm just like, yo, I want to make you proud. Um,
Wow.
and so, I mean, a lot of if it wasn't for family, I probably wouldn't be doing music the way that I'm doing it now.
Wow.
It's because they protected me at a point where like people were making and trying to get at me for doing music the way that I was doing it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I grew up in a very legalistic church,
Okay.
and
Okay.
um, and it's amazing. I didn't even know this at the time, but apparently people in the church was like, this is when like hip hop is of the devil and all that type of stuff,
Yeah.
that era and all that.
Yep.
And then I guess people in the church found out that I was making Christian remixes or making Christian rap music or whatever the case.
Right.
And then they was just like, this boy cannot come in here and make that music and play the drums.
Mm.
And next thing I know, we wasn't going to that church anymore.
Oh, okay. So parents were like, "Yo, that's not what it is, right?"
Yeah, and because it was amazing time to where like at the moment my parents were starting to read and find out and really um uh get to know the Bible and the word for themselves, not based off of how other people viewed it or
Mm.
based off not based off of how we grew up or what was taught over the pulpit, not reading it for ourselves or whatever the case may be, but
Yep.
really looking at it and like, hey, this ain't right.
Something
We've
not
been going
lining
about
up.
this all wrong.
Yep. Yep.
So I mean it back to family, man. Is I definitely wouldn't be here without the support of family for sure.
Hey, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to your parents to again, that's the supportive nature, but like part of you being supportive as a parent is also you're very protective as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and it's not like my baby's perfect, he's amazing at everything he does or whatever. It's not even that. It's they were more concerned about just even your spiritual walk, to do that, because it could easily have been something of like, well, he is playing the drums for the church, and that is kind of a big deal. So, yeah, baby, maybe you should kind of keep this on the low, whatever, because that would have give you so many mixed signals, and which
Yeah.
there are people who do that, and that's where there's a lot of times where people get the quote unquote, church hurt, where sometimes it's just somebody set up a standard, like you said, that is not really
Mm-hmm.
even scripture based, and then they end up taking it personal from that one thing and end up completely just throwing Jesus out the door,
Right.
altogether. So shout out to them for not only noticing that, but what I really appreciated that you saying is that they were getting in their own word, right? That that is the part that still people, myself included, will
Mm-hmm.
forget and will slip up and will you get so used to consuming content, right? You're a very consumeristic Christian where it's like, nah, let me get the word in, at church only. Let me get this at
Mm-hmm.
church only, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And then when something happens or somebody presses you in your walk, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't know that answer to that, or I don't know how to do that. You know what I mean? It becomes a whole thing. So shout out to them for getting in the word, because man, that's super important. So okay,
Yeah.
so when you were playing the for that church and everything, how did that impact you? Like, even though they pulled you out of church or whatever, like, is that something that they directly said to you, or you found out through your parents?
No, I actually found out years later through my sister.
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
I didn't really know what was actually happening at the time. I just knew that, you know what I'm saying, I just got some looks
yeah,
from some of the people. Even a person who I was considering a childhood friend, like, was like coming at me
mm,
like, yo, like, hey, what you doing? Like, you about to be on your way to hell because you're making that devil music and all that type of stuff.
wow,
And
wow,
I'm like, wait a minute, but you, oh, no, we're not gonna go there. You
right,
know what
right,
I'm
right.
saying? Like, what? How
But
how
didn't you
how you get?
just say did what? What'd you just do last week? Like,
Yeah, and shout out to my mom. Like, My mom is the most biased but unbiased person in the world.
Okay.
Like she's biased because of my son, but at the same
Right.
time, she will like snitch on me in a heartbeat, or she will tell me about myself in a heartbeat. Like, nah, Brandon, no. Wait, first of all, what you about to do is don't think you this like that. But it's just like, and then if somebody try to come at me, she about to step in and be like, wait a minute, hold on,
That's it.
you know.
That's it.
Um, so yeah, it's I'm extremely blessed to have parents who is supportive and actually saw something, inside of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, and fortunately, like believe that, like, hey, my dad is a firm believer in do what you love and the money will follow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Amen.
You know what I'm saying? And it was some stuff that he said to me when I was young, and I was like, why are you saying this? And then like, ultimately, as I got older, I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like my son, I'll be on the drums, I'm 13, 14, and I'm just going off. And
Right.
he'll be like, Brandon, discipline is everything. Okay. I don't I don't
What
understand.
what do I do with that?
But older is just like now I'm telling discipline is everything. Like
Yep.
in every aspect of your life, discipline is literally everything. Without discipline, like you ain't gonna be able to budget right. Without discipline, like you're not about to be able to, what I'm saying, do certain things that you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you want to lose weight or gain weight or something like that, you got to be disciplined. Like if
Yeah.
you want to change a habit, you got to be disciplined. Like discipline is everything. And I'm like, wow, he was spitting bars when I was
Right.
12.
Right. Yeah, no, facts, man.
So,
And that's so I coach gymnastics, been doing that for about 18 years now. And I even just this past weekend, we were finishing up competition season. And before every competition for the most part,
mhm,
I tend to ask my gymnasts, okay, what are your goals today? Right? They're about to
mhm,
compete, they got 4 different events or whatever. Then they tell me stuff. And then like even this weekend, after they tell me their kind of goals, I'm like, all right, cool. Goals are great. Okay, but what are the steps that you're about to take to make sure that you hit that goal? And that's part of that discipline. Like people can talk about like, yeah, I want to lose weight, I want to do this, I want to do that, whatever. That's fantastic that you want to do that.
right.
But like your dad was talking about with that discipline, if you don't have steps to do that, right? That would be like in a home that doesn't have a set of stairs, and your goal is to hit this flight of steps, right, or up here, but there's no stairs. Well, you don't just jump up there. You don't struggle bus up there. You go one step at a time, right? You build that up one step
Right.
at a time till you meet your goal. So, yeah,
Mhm.
discipline is everything, but yet is the
It's
first
everything.
thing that people, and myself included, will drop in a heartbeat while things are good. When things are good, right?
Mhm.
When time is all right, when things are happening or whatever, you can it can be very easy to become complacent, right? And lose that discipline that got you to that goal or to that place
Mm.
in the first place. Uh,
Yeah.
speak speak on just how do you stay motivated, bro? Because that is something that you have to be disciplined even when you are not feeling it.
Man, I gotta be honest with you. Like, I found myself in that complacent area, in that complacent time.
Mm,
To where it was just like I wasn't really focused on stuff that I actually wanted to do. I was focused on other stuff, which was good.
yeah.
Um, but it took um, uh, some time for me to actually like get back to it. So I was talking to my girl, and I was telling her I was just like, man, I'm too comfortable. I'm
Mm,
I'm I'm too I'm too I'm too comfortable. Like this is not. I feel like I'm not making music the way I want to. Like I'm going to sleep. Like I'm too comfortable. Why is that? And
wow.
it was just like I realized like I was MD. I was working at my local church. I was a music director for my local church, and it was just like cool. I was getting blessed, and I was honored to um, be having a salary there.
Mm,
But it was good. But at the same time, I found myself being complacent
yep.
and not actually having the same drive that got me where I am.
Understood. Yeah.
But it got me where I am because I was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable because I didn't know when the next check was coming. Now
Yep.
that I got a certain check coming in, it's
Phew.
just like, oh, I can chill. I ain't gotta worry about like putting out a song or the next show or whatever the case may be. You're trying to make content and all this type of stuff because like and then God snatched that away. It was just like, all right, well, I heard your prayer. I know I didn't pray that
Mm.
I wanted to be uncomfortable. I was just talking.
I was just you weren't supposed to hear that. Now, why were you listening?
But I found myself being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, all right, what are you about to do? It's not about who you are when you're comfortable. It's who you are when you're uncomfortable. Like when
Woo.
you don't know what's about to happen next. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, it took a lot for me to get out of that. And how I find myself and what I do to like try to get motivated again. I try to get around people that, like of the same mindset. Like I'll try to put together a writing session or something like that, or I'll have a session with some friends of mine, and then I'll try to lead that session inspired to like, all right, I can go write a song or something like that. Like I was super inspired by the Bohemian Rhapsody movie,
Hmm.
like documentary type things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The West documentary had me on fire. I was like, yes, I'm about to go
Yeah.
make a Kanye West album. So it's stuff like that that like kind of drives motivation back into alignment. Like just recently, like this is recently to where I was talking. And I was just like, I haven't made a song for myself in heck of long.
Yeah.
Like I feel, man, I feel like I can't write a song. Like I'll have ideas, but I can never finish it. And
Mm.
then like something was, and I was just like, I want to finish it. So I literally came back, and then somebody hit me up to write a song for them. I was like, all right, okay. It gave me motivation, gave me a reason to actually do it because it was very intentional. Okay, now I got to write a song, and then from there, I had to force myself. And within
Yeah.
me forcing myself, it's just like, oh man, I'm ready to write another album. Let's get it. I'm trying to write an album now.
Hey, just getting that jump start, right? Just something I had to push it to get the gears going.
Yeah, and just knowing that it's okay to rest.
Amen.
It's okay
Yes, sir.
to not have a lot of stuff going. I get discouraged and I'm like, man, I feel like I ain't did nothing. My chick
Mm.
would be like, Brandon, you just made 3 videos yesterday. Like, relax. You made 3 videos and 2 songs within the last week. That's a lot more than other people do.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That really is a lot.
So it's just like understanding that part of it is like celebrating the small wins, looking at what you did, and she was just like, write down the stuff that you have to do, so that way, like you can see your progress throughout it.
Yes.
And I was just like, all right, you dropping bars, okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes
So
that
yeah,
step back allows you
mm-hmm,
to be able to see everything, right? Because when you're in it, just like I mean, I'm not an artist in terms of like painting or whatever, but it would just be like something like that where like if their mindset was literally only what their brush is doing, right? They would not be able to fully see the picture and to be able to step back and enjoy it, right? It's that moment
yeah,
of when you step back and you see it all, and you're like, oh man, okay, this is nice, this is good, right? Even with God, like created something, hey, it was good, right? Like
yeah,
being able to step back and just being able to take that in, and I know, and it's so funny that you say that too, because I just came back from work meeting before this stream, and I had said, "Hey, thanks to one of our coworkers, his name is David. Last week, he had to remind me, hey, this is the first year of a new leadership in the gymnastics department like you. So I've been coaching, but this was the first year that I've been officially ahead of the entire program, right? And
mm-hmm,
so my nose has been like it's in working, right? Like I'm just in the trench, just doing stuff. And it
mm-hmm,
wasn't until that conversation with him that he was like, "Nah, step back. Look at what has happened throughout this whole time." And he's a believer too. Like, look what his God has allowed to happen and how things have been. And so that's really cool that you were also be able to be told that same thing
yeah,
where you weren't able to notice it because you were in it, but then what you really said, which was key, being okay to rest and allow yourself to soak that in too, man. That's so important, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is important for sure. And like it's that's fire what you said about like the art and like because if you're zoomed in and if you focus on the details, whatever the case may be, you won't actually see the progress of what you are doing
Yeah.
until you step out. That's fire. And that's kind of what happened with RPS and G. Like we was involved in it, we was
Mm-hmm.
in it, and then years later we hearing about the impact that RPS and G had, and we're
Yep.
just like, dang, people was actually rocking like that, but
Yeah.
we didn't see it because we was like just so focused on what was happening in front of us and all this type of stuff, and I wish we did have somebody to pull us back and be like, wait a minute, look at this. This is bigger than what's happening between y'all, whatever the case may be. It's bigger than what y'all think it is. And it's just like I try to remind people of that all the time, and being and my parents and my sister and everybody and the people around me remind me of like what's actually happening. Like when I hear people's stories about like, man, I grew up on your music, like it touched me and all this type of stuff. I'm like, wow. Like hearing the stuff that you played back, I'm like, bro, I know I said that I got a catalog, but dang, I got
Bro.
a catalog.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's okay, so it's so funny. So shout out to our Twitch coordinator Nisha.
Mm,
I had literally commented last week after we were done with our guest, and I was kind of like, I was like, hey, I kind of really want to like open up the show and like showcase some of his catalog, but then I was like, I don't know, is that kind of weird that like I don't ever so I love to show people their flower, like give them their flowers now, right? Like I'm totally good with that. But at the same time, right? Because we don't really actually we have not established a relationship. I also don't need anybody thinking that I'm trying to kiss up to them because
mm,
I could care less who you are unless you are Jesus.
facts.
You are not gonna get this like over above and beyond. I'm trying to get really good with you, whatever, right? So, anyways. So I had voiced that I was kind of concerned about doing it, and then she's like, "Nah, like show that love. Like I think he'll just take it as love." And I was like, "Okay, cool, that's what's up." And
Mm-hmm.
then while I was preparing for it, I was like, "Dang, how am I gonna get all this in?" Like, bro, like I'd have to do a 2 or 3 hour stream to get that whole catalog in, bro. Like that diversity. Where does that come from? Is that coming from
Woo.
your family as well? Like where? Because bro, like for anybody who's just tuning in late, what's up? My name is DJ Integrity. This is BrvndonP. Y'all know who he is. But like the diversity of everything, and then it's been really cool to kind of see you just grow up as an individual and grow into who BrvndonP
Yeah.
is, and then like again that the worship tracks and everything else, the live sets, like it blew my mind even as I was preparing because I was like, yo, like man, Bible in the Air guy is the same guy who's doing rivers, who's the same guy, who's doing like it's just crazy to have that. So where does all that diversity coming in from, man?
um, honestly, it comes from my family. It comes from how I grew up. It comes from being a musician, and just loving music. Um, I honestly, I would say that it comes from that, but honestly, I don't know how I'm able to do it. I mean, it's obvious,
Mm.
obviously it's God, it's a gift from God. You
Yeah.
know, my homie was just like, bro, like we'll be doing a session. Like I was in a session with Mission, and then right after the session, I had to go do a church service. So he's like, and then after that, he was just, bro, I don't know how you do it. I was like, do what? He's like, bro, you was just rapping, like making a
Mm.
beat. Now you about to go play at church. Like,
That
how in
headspace.
your like,
Yeah.
and then the next day I'm having a worship writing session. Like, how are you able to jump from circle to circle to circle or the thing to thing to thing, and
Yeah.
it still be fire and it still sound authentic?
Yes. Yes.
I honestly don't know. Like one of the things that bothers me is when people try to do like, okay, I might get in trouble for this, but I don't care. It really bothers me when gospel artists try to make a trap like song and they don't go to a trap gospel producer. It's just like they go to a gospel producer that tries to make a gospel trap beat or something like that instead of going to the people that actually do it.
Bro. Bro.
that is a pet peeve of mine. Like, I know y'all know more people than the person that produced this. This sounds like a watered down version of, like, this is not a good representation of what it actually is.
Bro, that part right there, just that last part right there. There's no way that you don't know one living soul that can do this, because clearly something got you into it. So where did
Yeah.
that come from, and why didn't you go there?
And that's something, like, even when I was working on all of my different work, my who said I couldn't do it, the different genre, the EPs of different genres.
Yep.
Even when I was doing that, like, I was like, yo, I want to do it. I even tried, like, the pop EP, Out of Line. Originally, I was going for alternative pop type of rock or something like that, because I was inspired by Bohemian Rhapsody. I was like, yo, I want to make an album like that. Like, I want sound, but I'm like, ooh, that don't sound like me. I don't have that type of voice.
Yes.
So, but I still gotta try to make it sound like me, because I don't want it to sound like, who the heck is this? You know?
Yep.
And I was very intentional about still having it sound like me. So I think a part of the reason why the different genres that was able to work is because in each project, going back to Black Knight the Break-In, like, I had different genres, and I tried to implement different sides of me in everything that I do.
Yeah.
You know, in Breaking, you had the song called The Blood. That was like a gospel type vibe. And then you had Bags Down, which you played, which was like the pop stuff. And then, like, you know, fast forward to BrvndonP. Like, I had Off the Record, then I had Over the Clouds, and then I had Doors. So it was just like, I've always tried to incorporate, like, different sides of me, because it's just like, that's kind of who I am. Like, I like to be versatile. I don't like to just stick to one thing. You know, I was told, you know, I hear all the time, like, man, as an artist, you really got to find your sound, stick to it, and all this. And it's just like, what if my sound is being versatile?
Hey, like, that's it right there.
What if it is? You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. No. I mean, absolutely. I love. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. You know, it's funny because kind of like, even like with social media, whatever, people will want somebody to pin down, and I understand that the benefits of doing it, because then your people who are coming into, you know, your pop stuff, like, they'll like your pop, they want to come in for some more pop or whatever. But the thing is that if that's your goal, to build a R&B, you know, fan base, or a hip hop fan base or whatever, then okay, cool. But for someone like you, with so much of the musical background and everything else that you're involved in, I think that would have sucked your creativity away even more, right? You would have ended up, honestly, just kind of recycling things over. And I feel like that diversity for you in your taste is why someone like me as a DJ, like, I know that depending on whatever venue I'm in, I know I can still play a BrvndonP record somewhere, because it's going to fit. And as a fan, I really enjoyed especially, bro, when you were intentional with these last several projects, where, like, every project's going to be different. Like, it gave me something to look forward to, because I did not know what it was going to be, and that unknown is what made me even build that anticipation, because it's like, okay, you know, he did this, he smashed it. Like, what else is he gonna do? Oh man, like, I was not expecting this album at all. Like, holy cow, like, what's the next one gonna be, right?
A lot of people wasn't expecting the worship project at all. A lot of people was not.
You know what? You know what's funny though? You know what's funny? Only because I've kept up with you for so long. I literally was like, man, this dude is really intentional about worship. Like, I've seen, you know, again, your social media posts or whatever. Like I'm like, honestly, not that I knew it was going to be a whole thing. Don't get me wrong. Like, I thought it was gonna be like a song, to be honest. I thought it was gonna be like a song or something like that, you know, a bonus track, whatever. But I was like, yo, I bet you this dude's gonna go into some worship. And which is funny, because George Moss, who is the founder of All Things Oxen, his heart has always been to have, like, a worship album of some sort. Like he's very, very gravitated to it. He's in the hip hop space. And so, yeah, bro, like still mind blowing that it just came out of nowhere and it was done with excellence. That was the important
Yeah,
part.
yeah, yeah. And I try to make sure I stayed in my lane. Like I didn't try to do too much. I didn't try to like as far as the worship project, I didn't try to be something that I wasn't. Like that means we go into what we talked about as far as Christian and gospel artists trying to make pop stuff. If
Yeah.
I try to make a worship album and I try to sing the whole thing myself,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't going to hit the way it did. It was just like, wait a minute, I know my lane. This is my lane. Cool. I wrote it. I can do a verse. I'm not about to try to make the whole song hit the way that it needs to hit. So let me go bring in some other people
Yes.
that can help. You know what I'm saying? I didn't try to make a studio live album and try to play all the instruments myself and all this type of stuff. No, it was just like I went to the people that was able to make it
Yeah.
happen. And it was very, yeah, I'm very intentional about the stuff that I do. It's just like I like to make something for everybody. If I go into making an album or something like that, I'm very intentional about, okay, I want to make this type of song. All right, I need to have this type, I need to have that type.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. All right, cool. Like I'm very intentional. When it came to the EPs, with Borderline, my fan base was very male heavy.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I was just like, ooh, it's the women that buy tickets. It's the
Yes,
women that
sir.
buy merch. It's the women that send it to their boyfriends and be
Yep.
like, get me this, let's go. Like,
Yep.
it's the women. It's just like, so understanding I need more female listeners because that definitely helps for sure. Boom, drop the project. Like, it kind of evened out. It was just like, all right, cool, we 50-50. Perfect. Like the pop stuff, very intentional about like sync placements, like sync licensing and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I want to make this because these songs are easily can get synced if somebody whatever. And then when that dropped, the song ended up on some pop playlist, and then Fox Network hit me up and was just like, we want to work with you. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, so I'm like, all right, that goal is checked off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my whole motivation for doing the EPs the way that I did is because I wanted to do a worship project, but I couldn't just come out with
Yes.
a worship project,
Right.
just off the bat because everybody would be like, "What just happened?"
Yep.
So I kind of had to build into it, just like, okay, I'm doing something that you ain't never seen me do, like with the R&B stuff, like a whole project, pop stuff. Boom. All right, now you about to get the worship project because now like I
Yeah.
can do whatever I want to do.
And I think that was a great timing because of it. I 100% agree that I think
Yeah,
that you had primed and prepped everybody to just know to expect the unexpected. And
yeah,
I think at that point, every project stood alone on its own, to still have not just your own sound but your own quality as well of everything that you
yeah,
bring to it. And so it was more believable. It was more believable. Like it's one thing for us to just know that that you do the worship music and everything else, at church and the MD and all that. Like it's one thing for us to have that head knowledge, but like ear wise, I agree. I don't think nobody would have really been able to receive it,
right.
as well had the timing, not been there. So do you feel like, um, while you were doing all of that, do you feel like you were getting a lot of support? Like were people like really rallying for you, or
Hmm.
did you get any kind of pushback where people are like, okay, like, hey, you did it, but I probably would never do it again. Like how was that received, for the people around you?
Um, I think number one, I learned from the people ahead of me. So like I learned that when artists just come out of nowhere and they just drop a project like out
Mhm.
of nowhere with a different sound, their fans are like, "What the heck is this?"
Mm.
Like, Drake dropped a Hall Dance pop
Yeah.
project, and everybody's just like, "Bro, get up out of here with that."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's something with artists when they just come out of nowhere and just drop something completely different than what they normally do. The fans just don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I need to be intentional with trying to prep people about what's about to happen.
That's good.
That way, um they won't have this sort of tension of like, let's not do that again. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And that goes all the way back from start to beginning. From Black Knight days, is just like always trying to have people putting different side, different things in their ear. But as far as like people saying, I honestly, I'm gonna just keep it lit with you. Um, I don't feel like I don't get the respect that I get. Period.
Yes,
Wait a
sir.
minute.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
We going
Wait. First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
so we're gonna sit on that. We're gonna sit on that right there since you brought that up. Since you brought that up. I wanted to go there anyways. But
Yeah.
now okay, so oftentimes artists, I mean a lot of people, sports, it doesn't matter. People will want to say or feel this kind of way of like, chip on the shoulder. People don't really respect me. They don't, they try to, my haters, right? All that kind of stuff. And I want to say like 95% of the time, it's just total BS. It's like, no, stop it. No, you got a couple people here and there that may say something against you, but stop. You don't have that.
Yeah.
But I will 100% agree when it comes to you, even with you and Mission and stuff like that. Like it has always been mind blowing. Actually, I was talking to the homie Q earlier from Vegas. He actually talked about that he was at Coachella last year, got a chance to meet you guys. Same thing. He felt like he was been super impacted from you guys and giving you your flowers there. And so he was telling me about it. But what I was telling him is like, man, for whatever reason, it has blown my mind that as much as Christians try to have like a champion of some sort, I did not see you get the respect and love in the Christian community as I thought I would,
Yeah.
as overtly Christian you are.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it's not whack. Like you're pushing yourself. You're sonically sounding, different than everybody else. It's always been mind blowing to me that in the Christian space, you weren't getting the love that I really felt like you really were owed. Not that you sought out for it, but at the same time, it's like, hey, like y'all keep looking at these other people who are trying to now cater to non-Christian spaces, and you just go and neglect me like I haven't been here for a minute. Like,
Yeah.
like how have you reacted to something like that, man?
It's very discouraging at times, and I'm just like I kind of was just like I just had to charge it to the game for like, hey, a lot of people don't get their flowers. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
At the same time, like I feel like there's a lot of people that really don't. Ryan Leslie is a producer who actually like changed the game for a lot of different people, and I don't feel like he got his flowers. Like Missy Elliott is somebody that I feel like, you know, did a lot for the game and
Yes,
doesn't get the flowers that she deserves.
absolutely.
So it's just like I'm looking at different people, and it's just like I don't want to focus on like getting
Right,
the respect that I feel like I deserve, but at the
right,
same time, like bro, like I'm not just some kid that just started out doing it. I kind of been doing it, and I got the track record to prove it.
right.
And I got different things that it's like I'm not just anybody out here in these streets. Like,
Better recognize who I am.
I mean, and honestly, like, this is something that I kind of it's like my own self revelation or whatever the case may be.
Mm.
But it was through a sermon that I watched, and it was just like I'm kind of tired of like being fake humble. Like,
Mm.
I don't want to be humble because you don't feel secure in yourself.
Whew. Whew. Whew.
So like a
Whew.
lot of people are like, man, all glory to God. Is just like, oh yeah, okay, all glory to God. But like I'm confident in who I am and what I can do and what I've accomplished.
Because God made me
So
dope.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Like even Jesus himself was just like he was a boss and he was confident. He spoke highly of himself. Man was
Yes.
just like, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Like,
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute. He didn't say no, you know, no. It's just like I've learned that like it's okay to just speak up
Yeah.
about like what I've done and how much that I have contributed in this space. Um, and it's just like y'all gonna give me my flowers sometime or another. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I think it does have something to do with the political game.
Oh yeah.
It
Go
definitely
ahead.
has something
Speak
to
on
do
that,
with
bro.
politics and cosigns and stuff like that. Because I'm not getting a cosign from this person or something like that. Oh, it's just like Brandon P fell off. No, I don't really need a cosign from anybody. It's kind of like I mean, I can go on and on and on. Like I feel like the fact that nobody is actually speaking on what I did with the different genres of EPs. Like I don't know if anybody in this space ever did something like that.
Not
I
that
know
I'm aware
people
of.
have a I know that people have attempted to do something like that, but it didn't really work out in
There'd be
the
like a track or
best of
two, maybe. Yeah, not a whole project.
no.
Yeah.
Like even the fact of like putting out live albums.
Right. Right.
Nobody like people do it, but like trying to be intentional, like, yo, you're gonna get a live album for every album that I drop. You're going to get a live album with it
Mm.
because I love music. I love live music, so it's just like, all right, I'm gonna make something for people to just knock in their car, but I'm gonna also make something for the musicians or the music lovers that love the live element of, and it'll sound dope.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of stuff that I've done and have accomplished that people just don't talk about. They like to talk about it, within themselves, but hey, send me a tweet about it, do something.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
see people be like, oh yeah, I've been seeing what Brandon P been doing and all this. Okay, well, post about it if you like an album. Shout
Yeah.
me out,
Yeah.
retweet
Right.
it, tag me,
Right.
like.
Yeah. 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 Don't tell me that you love me in person and never show love anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, uh, God is good.
Amen. Yeah. Okay. So you, man, um, the fact that you even started off saying that, it was discouraging. Like, I think. Okay, so I don't need pats on the back, right? I don't need people to speak into me, but at the same time, after a while of feeling almost neglected, I then start to kind of almost question myself because again,
Yeah.
I know God made me to be dope, and I do dope things, right? I tell my gymnasts all the time, anytime they do something, and they're like, "Oh my God, I was so surprised they hit this skill," and I said, "Why?" I said, "I'm a dope coach, teaching you to do dope things. Why would you be surprised that it hit, right?" And I have that mentality in just about everything, but at the same time, if I do feel neglected, I do start to question like, wait, am I just big headed? Am I arrogant? Is that what it is? Like, do I feel like I'm actually that much more? Well, no, it can't be the case because I keep getting called to DJ
Yeah.
for events. I keep, being hooked up with different artists, at times and stuff like that. Like I can see people liking and utilizing me when it's of use to them, but then
Yeah.
it doesn't always seem like there's a follow through. I,
Oh wee.
I
That is it. That's it.
I know I'm hitting on something here. I
That's
want you to
it.
talk about that, bro. What did it feel like, especially coming up while you were touring, with Minio and everybody else? Like, what did it feel like where you are, again, outside looking in, looked like you were super on the in with everybody, right? Because you were all over and you were drumming and you were doing this, that, and the third. And yet it didn't seem, not knowing your story beforehand, it didn't seem like you were either asking them to, but then knowing your story later on, no, nobody was reciprocating that for you.
Yeah.
How did
Yeah.
that impact you, bro? Because there's a lot of people who would have that kind of scenario and go, again, I'm gonna throw Jesus out the door. Then forget y'all, because ain't nobody, none of y'all can be real about it, right? So it can people can take that church hurt towards the person, right, and instead throw it up to God and be like, oh, that's just how Jesus is. You know what I mean? So how did you deal with all of that, bro?
Man, shoot, dude. I that is a very hard thing that I'm even trying to work through today. And at this time is actually like the hurt from being close to people that you feel close to them, but they are only in relationship with you because of what you can do for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that is something that just about any and everybody has to watch out for in any space. Like, it's because like there was a very popular artist that I have done a lot of work for, and huge artist, and I have I texted him about like maybe 6-7 months ago, and no response. I texted him like twice, no response, and then he called me and was just like, "What's good, bro? How's everything?" I'm like, "Straight," and I answered the phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, this dude calling me? Oh, for sure. Okay, bet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. I get on the hey, bro, can you do me a favor? I'm trying to look for this and da 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 da. I'm like, all right. I took the time that I needed to find whatever he was looking for and send it to him. And then he was just like, bro, if you got any beats, send them over. I'm working on the album. I'm like, all right. And then, you know, I didn't want to ask him, but I'm like, hey, bro, I text you about you doing a feature for me. What's up? Oh, man, you know, I've got to get this album done, da 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 da, whatever the case may be. But you can send it over. I know exactly what that meant. I knew exactly what that meant. It was just like, nah. But that was years. It's years and years of something like that happening. To where, like, I felt like I was in the end, and I felt like we had a relationship, but it was just like, you're only with me because of what I can do. And my upbringing, even though family was huge, I'm grateful for my family, but we moved around a lot. So like, I didn't have the concept of like having a childhood friend, like growing up in one location and learning the different aspects of friendship and how to interact with people and stuff like that. So that now, like not knowing, not being stable and being used to moving around, that plus now I'm touring, being in different cities each night and stuff like that. Like mentally, I'm just checked out as far as like being stable. Like actually learning how to be a friend. So now when people actually want to be a friend of me, I don't know how I accept it because I'm automatically thinking that you know what I'm saying? You just want to be with me because of what I can do. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I can trust you. Oh, snap. Years go into it and like you literally tell me, yo, bro, like I think you kind of shady, but I'm only rocking with you because of what you can do.
Woo. Boy.
But I thought we was cool. Like, you one of the people that I consider a best, like a good friend of mine. And to kind of find out, like, because I didn't do this the right way or whatever the case may be, or, you know, you felt like this, now, like, you just put me in this certain category because or whatever. And so a lot of that, that's the stuff that I'm trying to work through right now. As far as like not letting that past hurt just affect me in today's friendships and relationships. And it's honestly, it's I can't really like explain it and really vocalize like how I'm actually able to process it and try to get through it because it's just a lot of stuff that has happened.
Yeah, man. So so especially in the age of which that we live with social media and everything else, man, like how do you restrain yourself from airing out the dirty laundry, right? From putting people on blast. Like that's because it. We know it would be a mistake to build, a career on, that kind of content, right? Obviously, it would do no good whatsoever. But at the same time, at some point, you almost kind of feel this like justice, like I ought to let people know so that either A, they don't go through the same thing, or they realize, hey, this is what you're dealing with. So like, how have you like restrained yourself from doing stuff like that?
People gotta stop. People gotta stop with this double standard. This like keep the same energy on both sides.
Facts.
Like the reason why I don't call people out because of stuff that happened, because I probably wouldn't want somebody to do that. Like I would want somebody
right.
you know what I'm saying, hit me up before they do something. And if I don't respond after some time, okay, yeah, but don't throw me under the bus with it. You can say something. Like people hit me up, like was going off at me because I brought up the whole Andy Mineo situation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, that was, he shouldn't feel entitled. And why is he talking about this now? People were calling me like back to back, like, bro, why are you talking about this story? Why are you putting them out there like that? Like, well, first of all, there's a lot of stories because, that people in, cross paths and all that. There's a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And because he is who he is, you don't want to say nothing.
Yep.
Like that's kind of like it's I mean, because like it's the clout of it. It's just like you don't want to lose the connection or you don't want to be blackballed or something like that. It's just like like no, bump all of that. Like, okay, I could have said something to begin with, but I waited years after I had a conversation with him. And then I'm like, all right, I feel like I can talk about this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Run it back. I put it all throughout my music. In Better Late Than Never. It was all up in Better Late Than Never. You would never know that I was talking about him.
Right. I'm gonna have to listen through it now, but yeah.
Like just so it takes some restraint to actually like, and some real discipline to be like, you know what? I can really air you out right now.
Yep.
But I'm choosing not to because like I don't want to look a certain way. I don't want to look like, you know what I'm saying? Just like people took the video that I, from the crew, and they took it way out of context. And I'm like, the only reason why I was able to say something because I felt like we had a conversation about it. We came to a conclusion. Me and Andy had an understanding of whatever, what it was. But it's just, all right, cool. I feel like I can talk about it.
Right.
Yeah. And it's just a part of my life. Like, why can't I speak on it? I'm not talking down on them. Right. It was just an experience.
Absolutely. Well, and that's the thing. Like, like you said, like what? I can't share the truth. Like it's the truth. Like, and shout out to D-Lee. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name on the username, but there are people who they can mistake something like you sharing that story as gossip, and it's like no. Gossip, first off, is normally untrue. Okay. Secondly, it's normally done without having a prior conversation to the person of which it's about, right? So if you're going about it the right direction, right, where you are trying to actually, as Scripture would even talk about, but it's in context of an actual local church, that's a whole different thing. But where you go to your brother directly, if you're doing that, and rather it's on a good note, bad note, whatever, if it was at least done in an attempt with a pure heart. And then you go to go on to share about it. That is not gossip, right? That is not putting down, like you said, or whatever. Because again, even like the interview that you did with the crew, like it wasn't like you belittled him. It wasn't like, he ain't nothing. Like it wasn't that at all. It was, hey, this is my truth. This is the experience that I had. If you had a better experience, amen, glory to God. That's cool. That's just not my part of my story. And so I'm sharing my story from what I experienced and how I am processing through that. And I think that's important because, again, this is how things continue to happen when people don't say anything, right?
Yeah.
We normally hear about it more in like like SA type stuff or whatever, where she didn't say nothing and the leader kept being able to do this and started doing this with other women. Well, like we hear it in that scenario, but it's the same thing for anything else. It's the same thing for artists to artists, for producers. Like, if you get wronged and all you do is keep your mouth shut because, like you said, you don't want your money, you don't want your wallet to get hurt, you don't want to lose out on a booking because you said something. Now what ends up happening is you have shackles on. You don't know, but
that is a real thing.
Yeah. So
that is a real thing.
I think the probably the most realist thing that somebody could do, for instance, when they hear a story. And if you guys don't know too much about it, I'm sure you could find it on your own. But when you hear someone who has gone through something like that, instead of being very quick to come to a conclusion, first pray for that person, right? Pray for the relationship to be restored if it's not restored, right? Mm-hmm. Pray that they're at least able to work through it, whatever the case. Like, let's just go to prayer first versus jumping to a conclusion and then writing you off. I'm not even saying judging. I'm just saying like, oh, well, man, if that's just how he is, I'm just not going to listen to his music anymore. It's like, well, now wait a minute. That's taking it wrong. So could you, because Thea's asking right now, could you give, because she's new to the Christian music, could you give kind of like a brief summary as to what we're talking about so people can have a little bit more context?
Yeah, I can give a brief summary. So I was a drummer for Andy Mineo since he got signed, I think in 2011 to like 2016. I produced for him. If I wasn't on the road doing my own music, I was with him. Touring, doing a lot of shows, having like actual like one-on-one hangout session, flights, tour bus, like in the most like intimate, not sexually though, but the most like like actually feeling like becoming close to some people. And I supported him a lot in his career. I got a lot of knowledge and grateful for the platform that I was able to be on, help play with, and the different experiences that came along with it. Mm-hmm. Extremely grateful for it, for sure, and the help and the knowledge of I learned how to do like music engineering or live audio engineering from being on tour because I just asked questions.
Yeah.
Oh, how did this work? How did that work? So now I know I can go and do sound for a big event if I wanted to. So that came from touring. So I'm so grateful for everything that has happened. The flip side of that is that I felt not respected as an artist. I felt not respected as my own individual career. Mm-hmm. There were some things shared as far as like, hey, I produced songs for him, I wrote stuff for him, and all that type of stuff. And so, on the side, I made my own music. Black Knight he's here. Like there was Reach and there was Lecrae and all of them. Then there was Black Knight.
Yep. Yeah, true.
And that's the honest factor of it. It's like Black Knight was literally everywhere. So, but I had a lot of hit songs for sure. But Andy was somebody that I looked up to musically, and I really valued his opinion and everything that I made. And I shared him some music, and ultimately he was just like, bro, like this sounds like it's disrespectful to rap. Like you should stop rapping. You should just stick to making beats and writing music for other people because you don't have the voice for it.
Wow.
And I'm like, wait, what? and telling me, yeah, bro, like Bible's in there. You should delete that off the internet. Like it's corny. I'm like, but it's my biggest song.
Yep.
Why you telling me to delete my money maker? Like I'm getting booked and I'm making money
Off
off.
that
I'm
song.
like,
Yep. Yeah.
so, and it's just like my name is hot. Like, I don't think I've ever said this story, but like headphones. He wanted the song Headphones.
Mm.
And I'm like, nah. And because I put it out,
Yeah.
now you feel like that song is trash because you didn't, but you wanted the beat and you wanted the song
Yep.
because you liked the song. But because you wasn't rapping on it, it's now a disgrace to hip hop music.
Right.
But that coming from somebody who you really really looked up to.
And I think that's
And
the part. Like for the
that's
context,
the part.
that for context for anybody who's watching this back on YouTube or whatever, that's the part right there. This isn't like this isn't like me trying to hit up Lecrae, who yes I've ran into, but I have no relation at all, and I'm asking, hey, can I DJ for you? Hey, because I know DJ Promote, can I get on or whatever? And then him saying something super direct like that. Like that's not the context we're talking about. If anybody knows anything about touring, like day in day out, you are with that person, and so there are a lot of times where you feel like, especially if you're a person who is pretty open-hearted regardless, and you value community and you feel like you're being really a part of everything, that's in a sense, and I'm not saying this may have been intentional, but in a sense, that is what being led on is called. That's what being led on is you feel like everything, they're for you, all of this has happened or whatever, and then
the support is there. Yep.
right. And not only is there a no, but it's not in a constructive way of like, hey, these are some things, that maybe so and so has said to me, and because I value them, I'm gonna share this information. Like it wasn't sharing information, right? From what I'm understanding, it was a little bit more of a more like a stab than it was a nudge or a turnaround of conversation. So that's the context.
And that's a good way to put it. I'm sometimes I'm bad at like trying to like actually put my emotions and feelings into words. I just be with it.
Yeah.
People just don't understand. I'm like, no, that's not what I meant. Hold on.
Right.
But me
and it's not like you're. I'm reading the chat too here, so it's not. I'm reading. It says they said no. No, you can warn other people to be careful while covering the other than love. Envy is a beast. So it's not like Brandon was being envious of a person thing. Because again, more context. Your music was already being pushed. Like you didn't have to have anybody on there to already be exploded, because you are very right. As Reach Records was continuing to do their thing or whatever. It was for the lack of better words, a Black Knight era where your music was everywhere. That tagline was everywhere. Like everybody, especially coming off the Rapzilla thing, everybody wanted you to produce some stuff, whatever. I remember hearing about how KB and Andy Mineo were wanting certain tracks and stuff, and so it wasn't like you were feeling this kind of way because you wanted their status. If you were on freaking tour with them. So it wasn't that degree. Again, it's the context of everything. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to kind of give that context for those who are outside of the space.
It's not me being envious, or it's not, you put it, the way that you put it was very excellent. It was more so validation. Like, and I know that like, okay, like I'm not putting all of my hopes and dreams in if they validate me, but it's just like, yo, like as a brother, if I feel like we're close, like I feel like it's okay if you put, if I be like, yo, if it's okay for you to say, yo, this is dope. Like, yeah, let me hop on it. Let me just do it. Like, let me just give you a quick 8. You know what I'm saying? Because like, yo, you're dope. Like, I see what you're doing, King. Like all this type of stuff. And I didn't receive that at the time. It was just like, yo, stick to just playing drums, stick to just producing or something like that. And it was just like, And at the end of it, I was definitely hurt by it. I was definitely, for sure. And it took me some years to actually have a conversation. And then when I sat down with him, he was just like, tried my best to share my heart with him. And he
Mm-hmm.
was just like, bro, like, I'm sorry I didn't know that. That was a time where I thought my opinion mattered. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And who am I to speak on somebody else's musical preference and me thinking that mine is better than theirs? Like, we come from two different sections of the country.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
California music is different than New York music.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I didn't realize what my musical taste is not the end all be all. Who
Yeah.
am I to be like, stop doing music? And I
Yep.
was just like, he was just like, I had some growing up to do. And it was a very transparent moment
Praise God.
between me and him. And I was like, all right, cool. All right, I understand. I mean, and it was just like, I can talk about it
Yeah.
because we talked about
Yes.
it.
Yes. And
And
I
it's
think
just like,
that's
go
wonderful
ahead.
that you guys not only had that conversation, and thank you for sharing that part too, because I don't know how much, because drama sells, right? Drama runs up clicks and everything else or whatever.
Hmm.
We strive here to not be the Christian TMZ. I thank you for sharing that part, because I want that part right there, because we are about restoration, right? The church, the body,
Hmm.
the gospel itself is about restoration. And so restoration doesn't have to look like all of a sudden Minio is on, a whole project, like y'all doing a duo project or whatever.
Yeah.
Restorations or even steps towards it is just as simple of having the man-to-man conversation, and for even Andy to be humble enough to reflect back and go, yeah, I was out of pocket. That's just, I shouldn't have done that. And I'm not saying that it like covers, all of
Hmm.
the hurt and everything else or whatever. But I
Hmm.
want to make a point here right now that not only did you guys both have that conversation, but that there was a transparency through that conversation that
Right.
I feel like brought a lot of glory to God's name, because of how two brothers in Christ
Yeah.
were able to have that conversation. I think that's important to
Yeah.
really sit on, though.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And that's the stuff that people don't talk about because it's not clickbait.
Yep.
It's, what I'm saying. And a lot of my career, there's been times where like apparently I've done something to hurt people, and
Mm,
like I would never know, and they'll actually feel a way about me.
yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know that you feel a way.
Right.
Like, I don't know that I hurt you because you over here talking to other people. I'm finding out from somebody else.
Mm,
And it's
that's
just
always
like,
worse. Always worse.
am I low key blackballed because you didn't want to talk to me about how you felt in 2013?
Whew.
And it's just like people talk about certain things, and it's just like, okay, but you never actually came to me, and you never actually hurt my heart
Yeah.
about like, okay, what made you do that, Brandon? It's my bad. Like, okay, I'm learning or whatever the case may be. Like, I'm just now starting. I was 19 and I got this clout to my name.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all right. I'm 21 and I'm on tour. Like, I'm 22 and I'm in Australia. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have a big head just a little bit. Like,
Right. Right.
but it's
Yeah.
just like without somebody to actually come and talk to me about it,
Yeah.
I would never know.
Mm,
So it's just like I'm kind of a firm believer about like not talking about people, because especially if I haven't went to go talk to that certain person,
right.
you know.
Right.
So
And
yeah.
I think Lecrae has said it on the basement
Hmm.
with Tim Ross here recently, and I love that he um, put it in words this way, where for him he was saying, with all the people who have their different opinions about Lecrae, and especially during that whole murky time of, I don't want to be, I'm not a Christian rapper, I'm a rapper that's Christian, like that whole
Mm,
ordeal.
mm.
I love the fact that he had shared on the basement that he's like, I'm growing up in front of everyone, right? And that's the thing. You know, you as a young person, you are growing up in front of everyone, being exposed to more than most people
Yeah.
that age ever would be. And I think we as fans, as people who are outside looking in, do artists and people who are on stages a disservice. Now the problem though is that then there would be people on this outside looking in will go, well, you know, that's what they signed up for. You know, if they didn't want to have, you know, all this pressure, then why get in
Right.
front of a camera? You know, why get in front of, and it's like, no, now wait a minute. That's unfair. Like there are different standards, yes, but at the same time, you are a human being, right? Thea was
Right.
talking about, I didn't know Christian music was complicated. And I responded, people are complicated. Like that's just the nature of the beast. So
Yeah. Yeah.
this is all happening in real time for you. Again, back like the earlier in the conversation, it's not like you were in a position or a place or a mental space or whatever to be able to zoom out and understand everything that was going on. You were in the middle of all of it. So
Yeah.
you were viewing it as the young man that you were, exposed all at the same time, and then you're working, you know, with, you know, your heroes, and then you're getting cut, and then you're, you know, working through stuff, and then you are realizing, wait a minute, everybody was trying to act like I'm not out here doing stuff. Like, you know, there's okay for a man. Let me get some context for those of you who have only heard about toxic masculinity and all
Yeah.
that crap, right? Let me give you some context, especially, again, as a father of two boys, okay? And I know myself personally and how it is for the relationship that I have with my father. He's my dad. He's technically my stepdad, but he's the only dad I've ever known. He came to my life when I was at a very young age. And one of the biggest things that I always thank him for is thank you for never treating me as anything less than your own son. And as a man, there is no other power that a young man can feel than the validation from the men that they look up to.
Yeah.
And so if we get hurt by the men that we are looking up to, it hits differently than just anybody else saying something against us or whatever. So when a man, for ladies, if you guys don't know too, we as men, we think a lot more than you think. And though we don't know how to articulate it, right, rather with our words, process through our emotions, there's always something on our mind. I tell my wife all the time, I'm always thinking about something. So when you're not getting any validation from anywhere, you start to really question everything that you are as a man. And that is not only harmful to you, but as we see with society, can also ripple affect everyone else around you.
Yeah.
So I think that's also really important to state with all of this, that it wasn't just the Andy Mineo thing. It's not just the, you know, other people in the music industry or whatever. Just as a man, when somebody who, again, you look up to, who's a mentor, whatever the case may be, when they go, hey, I see you. You doing some really dope stuff. That can just shoot you to a whole nother level.
Woo.
Man.
And that's really the key point. There is just like validation is huge. It really is huge, because if you're not validated at something that you're saying or the feelings that you feel or whatever the case may be, your automatic result is to close off.
Yep.
And not want to say anything at all. So the next time something comes up, it's just like, oh, well, I automatically know I can't share that because I'm automatically about to be shut down. You know what I'm saying? In relationships, it's just like, yo, if I try to share something, it could be a little bit of whatever, and you go off or you know, use this or whatever the case may be. Mentally, I'm like, well, all right, I'm not about to share that with you anymore. So now now I have this pent up stuff, and I don't know who to talk to or whatever the case may be because somebody else shut me down for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I don't know. I got all this pent up, emotion, and men we're taught not to show emotion.
Mm-hmm.
The only emotion that is okay to show is anger. That's how know that you're a man. It's just like, wait a minute, hold on, I actually hurt. This is
Yeah.
hurting me.
Right. Yeah.
Like-
It'd be like a little cut, like a paper cut, and you're like, oh, that kind of hurts. And then you're like, "Ah, no, not ow. Freaking like, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, and it's okay to just be honest
Yeah.
and like, and having somebody to. I'm so glad for my chick because like whenever she does, I'll be having like some very vulnerable moments, and she'd be like, you know what, Brandon? Hey, relax, bro. Like, you're actually dope. You're actually the GOAT at what you do. Like, you have done so much, and like, you don't let whatever is like discourage you right now. Like, you're actually keep going, go. I'm like, oh, what? But I feel no. Don't listen to. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Like, it's okay. Understand how you feeling. Right? It's okay to feel how you feeling, but just remind yourself that who you are and what God made you to be. And I was like, all right.
Hey, I know, right? I know, bro. Yeah, man. I remember the first time I got a chance to DJ an after party for Life Fest in Wisconsin, and I was about to go on stage, bro. And I kid you not, again. So I tell people all the time, I am the most insecure person that you'll meet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secure in the sense of, hey, listen, I ain't no punk, so you better watch how you step into me right now. Like, that's not.
Yeah.
I'm not that. Okay. But at the same time, again, I'm in my head. So I'm about to go on stage or whatever, and I'm being honest with my wife. I'm like, yo, this is just how I feel. And she's like, hey, you're going to be amazing. You always do great. As soon as you get started, nothing's going to be, whatever. So, yeah, again, it's just like, it's so weird because, like, as confident of a person, as you can be, just that small little moment of, like, doubt, and then all of a sudden someone speaks into
validation kicks in.
You do that, and you're like, you darn right, I'm gonna go do this real fast. You know what I mean? Like, I feel that, bro. I feel that.
I was doing I opened up for Fred Hammond last year, and
Oh, wow.
it was like a churchy, like everybody around all the openers was churchy, just church. And if you grew up in church, you know exactly what I mean by churchy. And so I'm like, dang, I'm not churchy. And I went to my crew, and I was just like, man, I just feel like I have to be churchy. I feel like I just got to be churchy because everybody else is just like, I'm not that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm churchy, but I'm not that. It was just like, bro, be you. Like, be you.
Yeah.
And then we got up there, and then I will say this, like, all the people that came before us, it was just all showboating. It was just all like, there was no oil in there. There was like the spirit, it was just like, what's happening right now? And then when we got up there, God moved. And what I took from that is like, if I try to be something that I'm not, if I wasn't confident in me, and I tried to be churchy like somebody else, that would have went a whole nother way.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But because of that validation that I got, it's like, Brandon, just be you. Like, you're dope. Just be you.
Yep.
Like, I was just confident and was able to just be myself. You know what I'm saying?
That's it,
so
man.
it's deeper. Going back to the whole, it's deeper than just the wanting a verse or trying to get the spotlight or whatever the case may be. It was just like validation. Just, it hits different, bro.
Yeah.
It really does hit different.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to my team, Corazon and It Will Come a Cold. They give me a hard time right now because now they're talking about how I get on them when they're in their head, but and then I'll be in my head. And then, so I get it. I get it though. So man, no, that's good, bro. That's good, bro. We've had such a long conversation. We got to get into this Oxen Brand Spotlight, where we get a chance to hear directly from the artists of one of their songs, and the songs that we're specifically talking about is "Like the Weekend," which has been on our countdown. So some people know it, but we've got some new people in here as well. So tell me a little bit about just Like the Weekend, the thought process, not just in the lyrics, but even with the video, because anybody who is really into that churchianity, they're gonna see that music video and they're holding red cups. Why are they holding red cups? What does that mean? So, give us some backstory to that song, bro.
Like the Weekend. Man, there. So when me and Mission work together, there's me and Mission have a good chemistry when we work, and we've even back when in RPSG days, so where it's just like we just have a good chemistry together. So like we was just in the studio, and I made a beat, and I came up with a melody. He wrote the words to it for the hook.
Mm-hmm.
And it just took off from there. It was just like, going into it, like I'm very intentional. I was like, all right, so
Yeah.
we need this type of song for whatever. Like we need a barely finish.
Yeah.
Like we need one of those songs that's just gonna hit and and we need to make a church hit, like just a Christian anthem. And the lyrics just kind of like just took a life of its own in a sense, to where it's just like, bro, like this Christian life ain't boring. Sundays is not boring. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Church service is not boring. Like, and so trying to think of that when it came to the video, it actually took a long time to actually think of a treatment for the video, because we made the song. Let's just say we made the song in April of 2021, or I think it was like February 2022.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it was like, all right, cool. This is gonna be the single. We're gonna put it out in July. All right, we're gonna put it out with the video, because Mission was on some like, if we drop, I want a video to drop it. I was like, okay, well, what we gonna do for the video? Like, and we didn't want to do like a churchy, like preacher. We want to do like the average, like church video. I know the song says, "Hey, Sunday's popping like the weekend," and we're talking about church services and stuff like that, but we didn't want to have whatever.
Right.
So we was trying to think of something else to do and all this type of stuff, and then no ideas would ever kick, and we was just thinking too much about it. And I was like, bro, okay, let's just do like a big mama's house family dinner.
Yeah.
Like, what's something else about Sundays that's very iconic? And it's just family dinner. Like that dinner after church hit different too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's dinner, church nap, or a Sunday nap, and then you can eat the leftovers after when you wake up. And so he was like, all right, cool, but I don't understand it. I was like, just trust me. Trust me. It's gonna all work out together. And it did. And like I'm the type I like to push the limits. Like if anybody know me, like I like pushing the limits on just everything.
Yeah.
Like just because the cup is red don't mean nothing.
Right. Right.
Like it's a plastic cup. I don't like washing dishes. Like, sorry, if it was a styrofoam cup, is that better? If it was a black cup, you would have said something.
Yep.
Like, but it's just like just challenging people's thought process
Yeah.
of, what does it mean to be and living in this Christian lifestyle? Does that mean I gotta be boring? Does that mean no? Like, no, it's actually dope. And to do it with community, oh, it's even better.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that video was amazing. I'm glad that it turned out the way that it did. And yeah. So yeah, like the weekend.
Hey, that's dope. Let's go. Hey, let's go ahead and get into it. This is the Oxen Brand Spotlight portion of the show where we get a chance to not just hear it, but now we get a chance to listen and see it for yourselves. So make sure you guys run it up in the chat. Let them know how you guys feel. Let's go. Hey, that was it right there. Brandon P.
Yes,
Mission.
sir.
Like the weekend. Man, bro, the ending of that video looked like y'all was having a blast.
Every video we do is a blast, bro. Like that's something that I want to try to get across in my music videos or whatever. It's just like I just like to have a good time and have a vibe. Like
Yeah.
I want my music to reflect where I'm at every point in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm so grateful to be able to do it and have fans to grow with me and to have my, my family grow with me along in it. You know what I'm saying? And that was part of the reason why I changed my name too. I didn't want to be called Black Knight until I was 50. I really didn't. And me changing my name allowed me. There's people now just like, yo, where did Black Knight go?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm still making music. I'm right here. But I was able to like just make music. Like Brandon P, like me changing my name allowed me to be able to make music the way I wanted to make music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wasn't stuck in this youth group type rap and all that type of stuff. Like I wasn't, because Black Knight's known for that.
Right.
And I feel like the music that I'm making now, it definitely wouldn't have hit the same if I did probably keep it under Black Knight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful that my music was able to grow and I had people to grow with me and understand, like, yeah. I see you, Brandon. You growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When you went through the name, it's funny because with the name change and everything else, the first thing that I always think anytime somebody changes their name, it almost always happens, after like their first project or something like that. Or like every artist, like they'll drop their first project and then kind of what we had talked about earlier, where they're not always strategic about changing their sound. And so the second project is totally different. And then it's always like, yeah, I'm just trying to give another side of me, and just, who I am. And then I'm like, yeah, but it kind of came off weird. But like for you, for the name change and even just what you're talking about, not wanting to sound like I'm only for youth group, and even just what you had said at the very beginning of what you were saying now, which was having your audience grow with you. And I think that is where I would say Christians as a whole, again, kind of do the artist a disservice where we don't allow the artist to grow up. So however you came into the scene, if you were explicitly with, Christian with your lyrics and everything else, please don't ever talk about anything normal in your life. Please don't just talk about, church being like the weekend, or what, like don't do any of that, because that's not how we first found you. And I think, again, it's unfair because then you are telling a young Black Knight, I need you to stay at 19 for the rest of your life. And when I'm ready to grow up musically, I'm just going to go find another artist who's growing up,
And it's not just in the CHH world, Christian world. You see it in all things like music. Like for example, you got Bow Wow, you got Justin Bieber, people who grew up and like, I fell in love with young Justin Bieber.
Right.
How could he do all of this? And it's just like, bro, like he's growing up in the spotlight. Like you look at, just a lot of people who started off young and people just wanted them. They just liked them at that age. Just like not realizing everybody's human. Like just because their life, is put on display for the world to see, they're the same kid as your bad kids. But nobody see what your bad kid doing because they don't have the spotlight on them.
Yes, right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just like they're not any different than any other kid out there. But trying exactly, think of Disney. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just the judgment on people is just like different. It's just like, bro, like I'm a human just like everybody else. Yeah, it comes with, you gotta act and you gotta present yourself a different type of way. But at the same time, like I'm human. I'm gonna make mistakes and all that.
Yep. And you're gonna see it all in front of like I can't
So
hide
yeah,
it.
I am grateful that my and people accepted Black Brandon P's music. And I'm grateful that I believe that I was able to successfully do a brand, reconstruction,
Mm-hmm.
and actually try to transition people from Black Knight to Brandon P.
Yeah.
Still to this day, people are finding out that like I'm Black Knight. And I'm like, all right, cool. All right, better late than never. You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? So yeah, I am grateful for it and understanding that like there's a certain space in music that's missing,
Yeah.
and I want to be able to fill that gap. After youth group,
Yes.
what is
Absolutely.
what is their next? You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep. Yeah.
And Mavs City was able to, bridge that gap between the, youth, adult, but young adult. Like
Right.
they was able to kill it in that market. It's just like, all right, cool. I want to be able to bring something to that space too as well. Like have some music that feels good.
Yeah.
It's not corny. Like it's relatable. Like people who are not believers and saved can listen to it. Like I saw something the other day. It was like, bro, this dude's Christian. Oh, this slap.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, that is the greatest compliment in the world.
Absolutely. Yes.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I'm loving it.
It's it's that is how you become, the Jay-Z's, how you have your fan base growing with you.
Yeah,
Shout out to Show Baraka, who I feel like was one of the earlier ones to realize like, no, I'm trying to make music for people. Like I'm growing up. I need you to
yeah,
have music that to grow up to. Married. Like I'm married. I need you to give you a song for married people because that's some of the people
yeah,
who listen to my stuff. And so yeah, I think that's important. I think and I think again what you did and the way that you went about it, timing, not rushing it, not forcing it, not changing who you are, while also experimenting with who you are sonically and everything else. I think it was, you could definitely see how God really, how you have actual close relationship with God, as to how that thing was kind of being played out. And the only reason why I can say that again, outside looking in, obviously I don't know all the ins and outs, but your heart for God has not changed no matter what plans you've had, because I feel like you were in communication with the Lord as to how I ought to go about this, and that the Lord was in communication with people who are around you, like your parents,
yeah,
like a mission, like others who were able to speak into something, even if you weren't directly, asking God about it. And I think that's so along with that and so many other variables, I think that's why that transition was done. I would say honestly really well, because again, every time somebody tries to do a name change or whatever, that's almost where I go, okay, you know what, you trying to be too deep, like I'm done. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I think that was really really done well. Do you so hey, for the listeners who have stuck around for 2 hours, yo, shout out to y'all.
Sheesh.
For sticking around. If you guys have any questions for Brandon P, we'll take a quick 4 or 5 questions right now. But before they get to the questions, bro, is there anything going on that you got coming up 2023, 24? Like what is it that we can look forward to for upcoming, I should say?
Man, I don't know.
Okay.
No, I'm playing.
I was like, all right. That's it then, guys.
I've honestly, I said this earlier that I haven't made a song for myself in very long.
Yeah.
But I feel the itch to make an album again.
Mm.
I don't know where that album is about to take off. I don't know what that album is about to sound like. I'm just in the middle of making it. I made a song today and I'm like, this slaps. Yes, I'm releasing it tomorrow. And it's just like, I just want to just release all this music and that. But besides that, shifting into bringing up the next generation.
Mm.
I'm looking to actually start um, mentorship as far as like me, a mentorship program, as far as
Yeah.
like me helping and trying to give advice to different artists that want to, that's just starting off, that want to make a living, that want to do it right, that want to know the ins and outs about like, this music game and music industry,
Yeah.
uh, how to not get played in the music industry, how to read contracts, like just different aspects of what I've accumulated in my career and try to share the knowledge to other people.
Man, that's so
So
dope.
that's what I'm about to get started with. That's I might, release details about that this week.
Mm.
Um and I got a lot of stuff that I want to do, like outside of just me releasing music,
Right.
because that's not the end all be all. It's just like I want to leave a legacy. I want to help
Yes.
different people grow into the purpose that God called them to be, whatever that is. That's what I want to do.
Mm.
Whether it is through mentorship, like I want to do a conference, like there's different
Mm.
things that I want to do and different ideas that God just dropped down. Is just like, all right, keep feeding me, Lord, because whoo, how's this about to happen? All right, bring the people, because I
Bring the
don't
people.
know
That's
how
it
this.
right there. That's
So
cool,
that's
bro.
that's kind of a little into what's to come. Besides, in addition to music, is just that I want to. I probably am looking into doing another worship album, maybe a
Mm.
full length one. I don't know,
Wow.
but it's just I don't know what's next.
The
I really
possibilities are
don't.
endless, bro. That's what it sounds
Yeah.
like. The possibilities are endless. Yeah, man, that's cool, bro. Hey, Abel Kamako had a question. He said, "What's your favorite Bible verse?"
My favorite. I don't have a favorite Bible verse. My favorite Bible book though is Proverbs.
Mm.
Proverbs
Wisdom literature.
is the goat for me because it number one, if I don't feel like I have anything to read, I'm gonna just read Proverbs. Um,
Yes.
because it's always some nugget in there that can help me with whatever I'm doing. And it's it's straight to the point. Like
Yep.
Proverbs is that wisdom. Like if you need help with, if you're in if you're in a debate with somebody, Proverbs is the way to go. Like if you want to, like, man, yo, this chick is amazing, but I should not be going there. Like Proverbs is gonna help you with that if you read it. Like Proverbs is that joint for me.
Yeah.
Like, and yes, I don't really have a favorite scripture. Sorry, I didn't fulfill that Christian moment for you guys. Uh,
No, you
uh,
went above and beyond. You said "Psh, a verse, forget that. The book, okay? This whole book. So no, I think that was good. I think that was good. Outer City was asking.
favorite chapter. I saw the favorite chapter in Proverbs. Favorite chapter in Proverbs has to probably be between chapter 4 and 5. Um,
Yeah.
uh, and then like probably even throw 7 in there because it just so real about, for me as a man and women, and like how enticing women are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like, oh, okay, Brandon, okay, refire. Oh, you can't do that. Don't even go down the street. Don't even walk down the street, Brandon. Just because the street leads to death. Like the steps to her house leads to death. Like,
Bro.
oh, it's so real.
Bro, anytime, man. Woo, bro, you just said something there. So I like to listen to Streetlights Bible app, right? I love
Mhm.
what they do there and everything's, behind the hip hop beat and everything. And but yeah, man, when I'm feeling some kind of way and I'm thinking of whatever and I start going through Proverbs like that, and again, those chapters hit, man, I'm like, yep, I'm gonna completely block that person. Yep, I'm gonna. You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
I see the message, but I'm gonna go ahead and just delete it. I'm not gonna open it up because even though I'm in an okay space, Proverbs lets me know, hey, but you can wild out, you can miss it, right? So,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
one question that that Outer City was asking, he tuned in a little bit early, little bit later on, but I like the way that he phrased it. Being in the game so long, what has kept you inspired? Because that is like we talked about inspiration a little bit, but you have been doing things, and again, doing it in excellence and such for so long now.
Yeah.
How do you continue to be inspired with that?
That's crazy that that question came up. I made the song that I made today is called "Still on My Peak,"
Mm.
and
Okay,
it's just
timing.
like
Okay.
I haven't, and it's just like I haven't peaked. Like, and if I have, like, I'm still riding my wave. Like, it's still,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? Like, put respect on my name with a capital P. 10
Mm.
years in, I'm still on my peak. Like it's I don't know. It's kind of it's kind of like I don't know how I stay motivated. I mean, I know how I stay motivated because I love music and I love what I do.
Right, right.
But um being tapped into the younger generation is really something that helps. And actually, I'm always listening. I'm always trying to get new things in my system. I'm always listening to stuff outside of what I do too as well.
Yeah.
It's just like and bringing that to here. And that's, for example, how I made uh, the EP collection is just like bringing different stuff into it. And I honestly, yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% motivated all the time, but it's just like, you know what? I'll probably take a couple days away from it,
Mm-hmm.
go binge on Netflix or something like that,
Yep.
and come right back to it.
Hit that
And
reset.
it's just like, and it's just like, oh snap, this is hard. Like the song that I made today, I haven't made a song like this in a very long time, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yes,
Yeah.
I'm back.
Right. No, that's cool, man. I got one more question, and we'll end it off on this, um, because I hear artists say this a lot, and you said it a couple times tonight. What do you mean when you say I want to make music for myself? Because we'll
Mm.
hear that, but sometimes again, as a listener, we just go, well, we just kind of assumed you liked what you were doing. So what does that
Yeah.
mean to you when you say it's been a long time since I made music for myself?
Well, for me, when I say that, it's two different ways. So I don't only make music for myself. I produce music for other people. I
Mm,
mix people's music. I write music for Fox and all that type of stuff. And so, like, I haven't made a song for Brandon P in a very long time.
gotcha. Okay.
And so that's what I mean by like I haven't made music for myself. I haven't, I got a lot of ideas that's like that I started, but actually like an actual finished song, I haven't finished a Brandon like an entire Brandon P song for a
Wow.
minute. Because I've been working on other stuff. And by the grace of God,
Yeah.
cool. Like people like what I do.
Right. Right.
Like,
Right.
and so that's been keeping me afloat to where I don't just have to release my own music and just like I have to, okay, let me drop a song, let me drop it. No, like I
Yeah.
do have people hitting me up like, hey, can you mix this project? Can you work on this? Like me and Mission, work together and stuff like that. So um there's that part, and then the other part is just like I want to make music that I enjoy listening to.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to make music because like being corny is in. I don't want to make music just because like I feel like I have to make this type of song in order to make some money.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, I want to be able to enjoy listening to my own music and actually be okay with somebody playing it, you know. I want to make
Yeah.
music that anybody could listen to. Like if you DJ at a club, boom. Okay, cool. Like people will be like, "Oh, I don't hear enough Jesus." I just put out a whole worship project.
Go listen to your Jesus music over there.
Like, go listen to that. Like, oh, because this song don't have Jesus in it, that makes oh, I'm not saved. I'm not. No, bro. Like, listen to my catalog.
Yep.
I got a whole entire catalog. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I can make a live song to where I'm just talking and I want to air out and I just want to share, my feelings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It is okay for me to be like, yo, hey.
It's not all about you.
It's not. It's not. And it's just like, it's okay for me to be like, bro, you're not a friend of me if the only thing that you want from me is what I do. Like, I could put that in a song because that's real.
Yep.
And then somebody be like, yeah, bro, exactly. No wonder a barber could be like, bro, he's only friends with me because I can give him free haircuts. Like, so
Right.
it can relate to so many different people if I could just put it in a song.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that was good. That was good. Yeah, and I like that you said that. So the homie Abel Kama Cole, he this was long story short, he stepped out of doing kind of 9-to-5 stuff. We did a DJ for him and do a bunch of different shows, whatever. This is his, like, last year where he's like he wants to kind of wrap it up, right? He's moving on to a new chapter or whatever. But I like that you were talking about in terms of liking to hear songs for you. He made a quick note. He said, it's hard to make music for yourself. He said, my favorite songs are usually the least listened to by others. And I thought that was pretty deep in the fact of like, something that really hit for you. It doesn't catch on for whatever reason.
Yeah, and that really is true. Like, as an artist, it's just like, that's why sometimes, like, I'll just put it out, like, I'll like it, but like I'll be thinking like, all right, this is a single, like, this is about to pop, and I'm like, no. The album come out, people like this song, so it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, it happened with Mission, like me and Mission, like his song "Go Like That."
Yeah,
he didn't like it.
Oh,
he didn't like it. He hated it, actually.
Wow.
And that song dropped, and people loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Tone, like, trust me. Like, even with It's a Bop, like, It's a Bop, he did not like It's a Bop.
Bro,
like, that's cool.
Yo, that's like that and Stratosphere. I'm always playing. You heard me on the opening set. I'm always using that mug.
Yeah, wow. And so it is a thing to where you don't, like, there is a song that blows up that you don't think will blow up, and that's perfectly okay. But it's like, you still made that for you. Like, Almost, people love the song Almost.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I didn't think that song was that cool, but like, people like it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I like it too.
Nah, that's cool, bro. Okay, last question, because I know that our Twitch coordinator, she got power, man. She got pulled. This show won't happen without her. So she asked the question. I think I like. We'll end off on this question. I like it. What is Brandon P's favorite Brandon P's song?
Oh, that is a very hard one. That's not bad. I actually had to look at my catalog.
Let me get the Rolodex out. You just, spin the mug.
Can I do top 5? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I think it should be okay.
Okay. I would, in no specific order.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say Fill the Room. This is hard. Wow. This is really hard. Fill the Room. I gotta look at my catalog. I'm sorry. Hold on.
He's like, hang on, I gotta pull this up. Hang on.
Yeah, let me pull up the receipts. Fill the Room. I want to say, I gotta throw in a Black Knight record. Probably toss up between Headphones and Clapping. There's so many. There is so many. That's really hard. That is really hard. Chain Gang is one of them. I actually went back and listened to Brandon P and the album because I saw a tweet and I was just like, bro, this album is crazy. Um, oh wait, um, No Plan B,
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
um,
For sure.
Fear of Heights,
Yep.
and how was that? That's four. Um, there's so many. I don't know.
Hey, it's
I
true,
don't
man.
know.
It's true. There's, well, okay, and Cole is right. He's like, man, you can't ask an artist that because every song you were going through something at some point. Like it meant
Yeah,
something, to you, even if it was just like, man, I wasn't feeling creative and this track came out and I was blown away that it came out, so
yeah,
I get it. I get it. It's definitely tough, man.
yeah.
It's definitely
I'm
tough.
gonna just say every song is probably my favorite. Like my least favorite though, probably my Beat Bang.
Oh, really? How come?
Yeah. And my least favorite is like my least favorite is probably my Beat Bang Bob's in the Ear. Because it was just like, dang, my verse was actually trash on that song. But people
Ah,
like it. Like going back, it was just like people just like the beat, and that's the reason why my Beat Bang was like a thing. Bob was in the ear. The verse was trash, but the song was dope. Like, so it's just like, all right, you know, I'm not gonna kill it.
hey, but like you said, it was a money maker. It was a money to get booked you
Yep,
some shows too. So
exactly,
uh, didn't matter if you liked it, as long as somebody else did. All right, we doing it
exactly.
live. Here we go. Oh man. Well, hey, bro. I don't want to hold you any longer, man. Thank you for your time, bro. This time flew by. Man, I
It
appreciate
did, it did.
appreciate your heart, man. I'm thankful. Thank you for your vulnerability, your transparency. You don't have to do that by any means, but um, the fact that you're able to says a lot about how confident you are as a person within yourself,
Mm,
as well as I think what's really dope for us as viewers and audience is that that's why I love doing Mixed Mondays, being able to have these conversations with artists where you don't get this on an album, right?
yeah,
You don't
yeah,
really even at a live show, you still only got so much time, to be able to do this. So to have this chop up, this conversation, I mean, you see the chats, it's still been going, and so we thank you for your time, bro, honestly, and
yeah.
appreciate just what you have meant to and I want to say this, and again, like I was talking about before, like I'm not kissing up or whatever, like it ain't that. Not just the Christian space, but just music in general.
Mm,
I thank you for what you have done with your sound, and how you are again able to play in different lanes. And again, as a DJ, I mean, I've literally used a lot of your music, a lot of your catalog because it is so deep and it is so vast, that it's allowed me to for Christian spaces. I'm sorry, for non-Christian spaces, able to introduce people to Christian music,
mm-hmm.
Christian artists like yourself, and like in Christian spaces, introduce Christians to other Christian music as
Yeah,
well. Because that's a whole
yeah,
conversation, in and of
yeah.
itself, man. So I appreciate you, bro. Seriously, thank you.
Man, I appreciate y'all bringing me on here. It's an honor and a privilege to just come and talk to y'all. And um, yeah, because a lot of people don't get asked to even be interviewed or be on a specific platform or stuff like that. So I count it a privilege and an honor to sit here and talk to you for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that it's been 2 hours. And I gotta finish this music, but um, I do appreciate this and like that beginning part of this show of you spinning the records. It was just like I almost like was just like wow. I got a little emotional. I was like, bro, like this music is crazy. Like actually
Mm,
being able to be do music for this long a time and then stay relevant in
yes.
some sort of type of
Yeah.
way is amazing. And I just count it a privilege and an honor for everybody who listens to the music and stream the music. Thank you. And we still got great music to come, and it's a good thing, and we gonna keep on going. You know what I'm saying? So
That's it.
thank y'all. I appreciate it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it right there. Yes, Nisha. Yes, you told me. So yes, thank you, Nisha, for telling me to go ahead and do the mix that I did at the beginning because yeah, man. I and that's it, bro. That's honestly it. Like I really did genuinely, in my way as a DJ, want to give you your flowers of like, yo, not only do I appreciate the music that you're doing right now, but I've been appreciating it as a DJ even before I was a DJ, just as a dancer too. So yeah, man, we'll definitely obviously stay in touch. You guys already know what it is.
Yes, sir.
Make sure that you
Yes,
guys
sir.
are following them all social media platforms. You've seen those links kind of been going throughout the chat, throughout the interview. So make sure you guys hit that up. As always, you guys know what it is when it comes to actually supporting. Streaming the music is important. Don't get us wrong, but buy the actual track, buy the merch, Trophy Gang, right? Do whatever it is that you got to do when you say, man, I really enjoy Brandon P. I enjoy music like this. Well, to continue music like that and continue allowing him to do what God has called him to do, invest with your wallet, right? Your words, your likes and shares, that's great. Your prayers, absolutely. But your wallet keeps it moving. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, amazing. Yes. Hallelujah. Hey, are we recording this? I mean, obviously, is this recorded?
Yeah.
Can you send this to me?
Yeah, bro. I got you.
Okay.
I got you. Absolutely, man. All right, bro. Well, hey, again, we'll stay in touch, man. And yeah, man, can't wait to see what else you got going on, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, if you liked any of this content and you found some value in it, make sure that you like, subscribe, and of course, share it. Also, if you're interested in some more, go ahead and check out these videos. Till next time, grace and peace. Adios.